Welcome to the Creator Tutorials podcast. Really excited. We got on a Haleh today. Haleh, would you please give yourself an introduction?
I am Haleh. It's pronounced like Hallelujah. I'm a 2 times bestseller, and that's been my passion. And I'm a health span coach.
That's awesome. Yeah. So she's a best-selling author, best-selling book author. Tell us more about the book that you wrote and created. You're also a co-author on another book. So give us a little idea, background on the book, and maybe even the other book that you co-authored.
Sure. Thank you. So my book launch was August 10th, and here's the book. It's You Are the Universe, the Master Creator. It's a very short book, so everyone would have time for this book. It's like a workbook, and it's more about you, and it's not about me. And each chapter is just 1 to 2 pages, and it has a little notes for reflection, so you can write your whatever that chapter represents for you. It's like a little journal, and thank you.
Yeah, and give us an understanding. What is the book about, or what does it help people do?
It's about creating your own universe, your own intention, whatever that you want to create in this life, that you step out of your mind and you step into your heart. And that's where your creativity is, and you let it flow. It's freeing yourself from all the thoughts. So it's a very positive book that's about you, where you want to head to, and your creativity.
Well, I'm sure this came out of a creative process for you, a self-discovery process. So give me a little bit of backstory or insight. What were the things that compelled you to the point where you wanted to write this book, right? Tell me that story.
Sure. I'm really excited this book is out because I wanted to write it, but it wasn't the right timing until my father became my angel. And so I lost him in May of 2020. He was actually the source that divinely guided me to write this book and to put it out there more than ever. People now needs to tune in to their heart, which is their creative center, and to let it flow. So what happened, one day I took a course and I sat there in this class, and it was like a download. And the reason I say my father, because he always wanted me to write a book, and I never did. So that's how it came about. I sat there and this just downloaded in me. So just guidance that led me to it. And here I am with the book. And I launched it on August 10th because that's my dad's birthday. So that's why I pursued it and I went forward with it. And I'm sure he's smiling from above that I accomplished this book.
Okay, so you wrote the book in a day, and I've had that too, where it just comes to you, right? And you look back on it and you say, wow, how did I even write that? I could never write that again even if I tried. It just kind of comes to you. Unpack that a little bit more for me. What was it about the book? Did you have the idea of the book, or did that also kind of come to you in the moment, or did you have an intention on what type of book you wanted to write?
So because I was constantly getting messages from my dad, it's weird. It's got to be in the space to understand it because it's frequency. Because I didn't even know that it's about a book. So all this information was coming to me, but I couldn't put it together till that day. All of a sudden, the word "you are the universe, the master creator," and nothing is outside of you. And I always, in my younger days, they'll seek outside of me for everything. So when this book came, first was the cover. They're all at a different timing, but it all came together. I had taken a picture previously, and it was a video content day, and that's where that picture was, which I wasn't planning for it to be a book cover. And then since my interest was about the universe, I came across this one. So it was all separately put together. But what I did, the first thing I did, I made the book cover and I put it on my laptop. And so that's how it came on them. I'm talking about the day I wrote the book. The first step was doing the book cover because the words were coming. So then the book cover, the more I got more excited for it because it was constantly in front of me. So that motivated me to finish it and not just leave it just words to make it a book. And the number 17 came to me. It had a significant meaning for me. And in that class, they were talking about 21 chapters. But I went ahead, and being the black sheep always, I made it a number 17, and I pursued it with the 17 chapters because I know nowadays people want brief, to the point. So I made it like this, intangible with the workbook style. So that's how it came. So it was first the chapters came along, and I was just writing. Then it turned into chapters.
And unpack for me the title a little bit more. The title is You Are the Universe, the Master Creator. You are the universe, the Master Creator. Explain that a little bit more to me. What does that mean to you?
Basically, to me, you are so powerful and the most advanced technology there is. And these days, especially after the pandemic, everyone's seeking outside of them. And a lot of people, I know everyone loves AI and it's a great tool and it's advanced and you can do so much with it. Okay. And it creates more revenue. I get all of that. But we become so dependent on that. And then we don't realize that how our mind is so powerful and we let the pressure to take that away from us, that we are so powerful. It's like the same time the cell phone came, we become so dependent that we can't leave home without it. And we lose that humanity, that touch that connects the humans together instead of becoming a robot and all of that. So it was very important because the world is changing. And that message, especially getting the message from my father that I do need to step in and voice out that voice. And all my life, my voice had already been shut. And because I'm a creative person, I was always different. And I always enjoyed creativity. And I come from a very creative family as well. So, but it was shut inside of me and I kept myself trapped in the corporate world and being slave to the system as a paralegal, legal secretary, executive assistant. And that was not me. And inside, talking about relating it to writing, I always had the most unusual cards that I would give to people and they would all feel that with the heart because that was so important to use your creativity and express yourself, even though I was at corporate. But I always expressed it. Somehow it needed to come out of me.
Yeah, I love that. Back a little bit more for me, though. Can you think of maybe a story or an experience in your own life where you stepped into that master creator? You had that moment where you're like, I'm not just a drop in the ocean. I'm the ocean inside of a drop. You've had that kind of revelatory, powerful experience. Can you think of a story in your life where that happened?
Sure. There's a few of them, but one I can relate when I was in school, in English class. I always wrote very creatively. And my English teacher always told me, pursue your writing. You are so creative. So when I was sitting and doing my writing, I hated school, but I enjoyed writing. So when I realized like there's something there, I'm not running away from learning. I say that because they thought I have ADHD because they wanted to get a tutor for me, but it wasn't that. It was just I enjoyed my creative side. That was me. So I sat there. My English teacher was like, oh, you need to pursue this writing. So it became, as of today, I still remember it. I'm 54 today. I still remember that young age that I was. That's one incident. And all along, I had been journaling at a young age. I started reading and writing before anyone else. And I always wanted my crayons or paint or get other objects and cut them and paste them. I was always creating. So my journaling had saved me. And because I journaled and that voice, the writing was writing to myself and it was my best friend. And I'm here alive, I believe, mostly because of that, because I was expressing everything on that paper just between me and my paper. I would go in the closet. At that time, I had a nice big closet and I would sit there and cry my heart out and write. And write and write. And that moment, I realized how in touch I am with my writing, that it's making me feel so good. And I would even draw hearts and draw objects. So I was, even in that severe moment, that brought me joy when I was writing. And then because of my grammar, I never pursued it. And another reason I didn't move along to make it a book or anything like that was I needed to financially survive. So I did not write it, but it's been with me all along. That's like part of me writing, even giving cards, writing cards out. It was just something about me, about writing and creating.
Tell me that story. You're an entrepreneur. You're an online entrepreneur. We met online. You've been on this entrepreneur journey. Where did that entrepreneur journey start and what's been the journey since then?
So it started, I took a course for some odd reason. I don't know what came about. It was during the pandemic. I knew I didn't want to go back to the corporate world. And I'm just going to touch one base out of portion because when I did come out, I did pursue because I was creative. I did take a course as a celebrity, a fashion personal stylist because of my creativity. So I've been getting it all along. Like the way I style and do things, it's always odd. I would do odd things where different earrings, and it was also a part of me to put that into something. So I took a course, I got certified, and I worked with the LA Fashion Week. So I was doing my fashion stylist, and then I took a course with him. And from that course, I ended up taking a course about sales coaching. So what happened in those courses, I started looking at money differently because I used to hate money. I used to hate sales. I was not a business person. That's when the shift happened. That's right there. The shift happened because I knew in order for me to have food and a roof and I need to survive. So I need to see what caused me hate money and all of that. I needed to work on that and fix it so I don't go back to corporate. So this way I can get in touch more into my creativity. So I began to love money, love sales. And in Marshall Silver's course, I met Cesar Espino there and we sat and talked. And that was the waking up moment when I talked to him that I have put aside my writing, which has been a part of me, and I didn't get in touch with it. And when I co-authored that book, it was the most challenging ever. And I was going to stop many times and not to move forward. I didn't know where to start. Here I am writing every day for myself, journaling, and I didn't know how to put it all together because I kept going in my thoughts that my grammar isn't good enough. I'm not good enough to put a book out there. So he guided me tons, and my husband stayed up editing before we gave it to him because that was going all over the place, scattered because I had so much stuff going on. So that's where it started. And I was about to do my whole book again, but then that hasn't yet happened, but I'm going to pursue that.
Well, Haleh, I appreciate you being on the podcast today. How do people find out more about your book, about your writing, and about Haleh? How do they connect with you?
The best way to reach me is healthspanwithhaleh.com.
Yeah, healthspanwithhaleh.com. We'll go ahead and put that down in the description just to make it easier for everybody. But appreciate you being on the podcast today, Haleh. We'll have to have you back soon.
Thank you so much, Alex. Appreciate your time.